This video is on the topic of the characteristics of living organisms. Let's start by naming the 7 characteristics of living organisms. They are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. You may have known these as Mrs. Gren or Mrs. Nerg when you were starting out in your biology learning. You do need to know a definition of each of these words, and it's a good idea to have some examples too. Let's go through them now. The first one we'll look at is movement. The definition for movement is an action by an organism or part of an organism causes a change of position or place. Remember that all living organisms move, including plants, bacteria, and fungi. Some examples of movement include animals walking or running, or body parts moving like a tail wagging, or as you can see here, a hand waving. Some plant examples are a leaf positioning itself towards sunlight, or roots moving toward a water source. Do remember that plants can move too, as these are often overlooked. Next we have respiration. This is defined as the chemical reactions that break down nutrient molecules in living cells to release energy for metabolism. There are 2 types of respiration: aerobic respiration, which takes place in the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration, which does not require oxygen. And there are 2 types of anaerobic respiration. One takes place in animals and the other in yeast and plant cells. You do need to know about all these types of respiration as part of your course. Sensitivity is an organism's ability to detect or sense stimuli from their internal or external environment and then to make an appropriate response. An example of this may be an increase in temperature, which is the stimulus, and the human skin, which then may start to sweat in response. Other stimuli include pH, light, humidity, oxygen and carbon dioxide concentrations, and of course, plants are sensitive to stimuli too. Don't get confused with the word sensitivity in the context of biology. We're not talking about emotional sensitivity here. Growth is a permanent increase in an organism's size and their dry mass. This occurs because of an increase in the number of cells, or the cell mass, or sometimes both. All organisms grow. Even the largest of trees started life as a small seed, and you started life as just one cell. Reproduction includes a set of processes that lead to more of the same species of organism. This can either be through sexual or asexual reproduction, and some species can do both. Sexual reproduction includes both male and female parent organisms, and the offspring will contain variation based on these 2 parents and their DNA. In contrast, asexual reproduction requires only one parent, and the offspring are all genetically identical to each other and this parent. This is common in the plant world and is how plant cuttings are made. Next we have excretion. This is the various processes that lead to the removal of toxic materials, waste products from metabolism, and substances that are in excess from the organism. In this example, carbon dioxide is a waste gas and would be excreted from the organism. Other substances excreted include urea and water in urine. Excretion should not be confused with egestion, which is the passing out of undigested food as feces through the anus. Finally, we have nutrition. This is the processes that lead to organisms taking in materials required for energy release, growth, and their development. Plants require light, carbon dioxide, water, and ions, and animals need organic compounds, ions and water for many processes and organs within their bodies, such as calcium for strong teeth and bones, and vitamin A for healthy eyes. Some organisms acquire their nutrients by eating, such as humans, and other species take in their nutrients via processes such as diffusion and osmosis. In summary, there are 7 life processes: movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. You do not need to remember these in this specific order, but the acronym Mrs. Gren can really help ensure you don't miss one out.